I'm going to show you next some real-life applications of finding arc length and circumference. In the picture, the dimensions of a car tire are shown, and to the nearest foot, the question is how far does the tire travel when it makes 15 revolutions? So imagine you tie a string around the tire and then you lay that string out, on the ground. So that pretty much is one complete revolution. So what we're going to do is figure out how far the tire goes in 15 revolutions. So in other words, if, we measure the circumference of the tire with a string and make 15 copies of that string length, then we get the total distance traveled. So a formula that we can use is distance traveled is equal to the number of revolutions times the circumference. So in this picture, we need to find the diameter first, right? So the diameter is actually the total length from here all the way to the bottom. Because the diameter is from this center. I'm just approximating that center, okay? So from this center to that point, that's a radius, and to the opposite side, that's another radius. So the total length of the green segment is the diameter. So to find the circumference, which is C, we multiply the diameter times pi. So to find the diameter, we're just going to add all these up. So 5.5 and 5.5, so that's already 11, plus 15, that's 26. So this will become 26 pi. And then we multiply that by the number of revolutions, which is 15. So this is equal to the distance traveled. So D is equal to, just get the product of this and then multiply by 3.14. So let's see what we're going to get. Get my phone so I can do it in the calculator. So it's 15 times 26 times, I'm using 3.14 for pi. So the total distance is approximately, it's approximately 1224.6, and the unit used is inches. There we go. So that's one application of circumference in finding the distance traveled. Here's another example. The curves at the ends of the track shown are 180 degrees arcs of circles. The radius of the arc for a runner on the red path is 36.8 meters. About how far does this runner travel to go once around the track? Round to the nearest tenth of a meter. You can actually partition this figure into, that should be straight, okay, and make this one parallel to the first one. So these two red straight paths are, they measure 84.39. So that's for the bottom part, and the top portion will also be 84.39. And the question is running or is asking for the distance on the red path. So this portion here is actually a semicircle, right? So it's a semicircle, and the radius is actually 36.8. So that's the radius. So how are we going to find the total distance traveled by the runner? Well, we can actually find, so the distance traveled is actually equal to the distance on the straight path, right? So let's go on the straight path, which is pretty much this portion here. So the runner travels through that path, and this one also, right? So that means this is equal to 2 times 84.39. Okay. Now, the runner will also travel on this portion here. So this is actually a semicircle, right? This is also a semicircle. So don't get confused with the 44.02. That's for the blue path. We're only looking at the red path. So that means this is or this must be added to the two semicircles, right? So semicircle. Since there are two semicircles, we're going to multiply that by 2. And the area, the circumference of a semicircle is 1/2 times 2 times pi times r. But we know that the radius, so let me copy this one down. What's 1/2 of 2? That's 1, right? And then when you multiply that to 2 outside, that's equal to 2. So 2, your pi is 3.14, and then your radius for the red path is 36.8. So let's see what all of these is equal to. So let me get my calculator and do that. Go ahead and try that as well so we can, verify our answers. So let me multiply the first one by 2. And this is 168.78 plus, multiply those. This turns out to be 231.104. So adding them together, and we need to round the final answer up to the nearest foot. So the distance traveled is around 400 meters. So that's the final answer. Well, if you want to practice on your own, what you could do is find the distance traveled by the runner on the blue track. So that means you're going to use the other given radius for the semicircle. Alright.